Hey everybody, how we doing? Chase here. So it's nice to be speaking with you all again. Today we will cover some potential Bitcoin trades. We'll talk a little bit about the overall market. Before we do that, I'll quickly explain why I've been quiet. I've really been quiet because I'm not here to spread negativity on a daily basis. I haven't really felt like a lot of the moves in the market were very genuine. Trooper's been doing a great job of finding some altcoin moves, finding some moves on ETH, and I think he grabbed a move or two on Bitcoin as well. So he's been doing a great job, and I've just been working quietly in the background, really keeping an eye on some of the bigger quote unquote potential trades that I believe could be ahead. We know how extreme the consolidation has been. So yeah, I'm really just focused a lot on that. Trying to keep an eye on the potential bigger moves, and working with those. And I'm not here to be negative in your ear each day. That's not helpful to anyone. So I've just been keeping more on the quiet side. Troopers found a good rhythm in this small consolidated market. So yeah, that's about it. Okay, let's talk about Bitcoin a bit. This range is super tight. Down here we have the daily block in between these two levels. Here's the EQ of the daily block. Here's the 4-hour block that pretty much needs to hold. Daily close below here would be bearish. Daily close above here, the right around the 68.20 level is bullish. And then our next resistance is right around here. If we go over to the daily, we can see we dumped right through here, so I guess this is what they would call a breaker, bearish breaker. And there's your EQ level right around there at about 70.27. So keeping an eye on some of these levels. I would probably short this level when we get to it. Daily close above here, I look too long on the pullback unless I can get in quickly upon the daily close or something of that nature. You can see that the meme curve, quote unquote, has actually been holding pretty well. It's been guiding the price, wick here, wick here. It's been doing well. So just an interesting thing to keep an eye on. I talked about an idea earlier that I think is possible. That every time preceding any of these big moves, and we've seen it in the past as well, is that we typically get some type of double stop run or something of that nature. So let's take a look at this move here. Okay, it's about 511 points. So let's chart out 511 points. Obviously, they would want to run the levels on both sides. So 511, and let's say, okay, so they ran this about how much? What's the percentage here? Let's just take a look. About 0.80%. So let's get 0.80 here. This would be the level they want to run right here. So 0.80 is right there. And obviously this is just so right about there. This is just like funny TA, right? This isn't real TA. This is just me thinking about what's possible and considering some scenarios. So if we were to get some type of a monster double stop run before a big move, right? Monster double stop run before a big move, where would it hit perfectly? Well, it would be confluent with the EQ of our daily block. It would be confluent with the 4-hour block. And obviously, as we know, daily close below this level would probably be bearish. Daily close below here, and I'm expecting, to test the lows again, right around 6150, 6200, possibly even 6K or the yearly lows. In this range, I'm really feeling the need more than ever to see a lot of confirmation to enter the trade. Like I said, Trooper's been doing quite good with just finding entries off the little blocks and stuff, and I actually feel like the PA is working quite well in this range, right? So I'm not really having a problem with that. I suppose what had me a little annoyed was like the whole Ripple situation, some other things. I mean, I'm not really going to get into it, but you can ask any good trader, and they'll tell you that the Ripple thing was ridiculous. There's no reason for it to rise that high. I heard from a lot of really good traders that they think it may retrace all the way. I'm on the same track that I believe it's bullshit. Something with Swell, Ripple pumping their own coin. I don't know. Long story short, if Bitcoin drops, all the altcoins are going to drop as well. it's the market moves as one. Okay, the XRP is not separating from Bitcoin. I hear all these stupid things, and like I said, I'm not here to just shroud negativity every single day. So I just sort of stay quiet for a bit, and now we'll get back into action. I've been keeping an eye on the big move. I'm trying to see where this big move could possibly be. Where's my chart? Oh yeah. Okay, so keeping a track of a few things. I have this, this smaller formation inside the bigger formation. So that would be my first hint, right? So if we break above here and we find respect here, say we do like a little breakout here, right? We break out and then we retrace and we find support, right? And we go for and we start moving up again. Maybe I would enter here with like a stop loss back inside the formation, okay? So things like that are possible. Definitely keeping an eye on this overall. In terms of Bitcoin plays, there's a few plays I'm looking for. I have to see a close above here, right? Got to see a close above here to get bullish. So if we can get a daily close right here, I may enter. Stop loss below the range, okay? Below this old high here, where we've been seeming to find resistance over and over again. So could do that, entry here, stop loss down here. That's one possibility. The other possibility will be to wait for the retest of the level. We know how that goes. So say we get a breakout, retest the level, it'll get front run a little bit, so you got to enter around here, stop loss below. Okay, very simple. In terms of downside, downside is feeling, I'm still bearish, right? I'm still bearish until we at least cross this point. Like, without crossing this point, we're still bearish. It's been the same thing over and over again, right? You see this whole area right here, is stemming from this old daily block back here. Without crossing this, we're bearish. Okay, so people getting all up in their arms about being bullish and all that stuff, and I mean, you got to show me something. The price has to show me something to become bullish. I'm not bullish yet. Okay, if we break the curve, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm not really. I don't think I'm really trading the curve. Like I said, it's sort of just another one of those quote-unquote ideas. It's not like real technical analysis, so to say. Maybe some people consider it to be, but for me, sometimes I see cool things on the chart and I just plot them out to see how they play out. So say this breaks down, right? If this breaks down, I want to be a buyer in this area, but if I could see some consolidation first, with the RSI moving upwards, that'd be great. Something like this, you guys know how it looks. If we can get that, I'd like to jump in on here, and I think we could be targeting, all the way up in this range here. You get some really great risk reward up there, or from here to here, and your stop wouldn't need to be too far away either, like maybe right below those lows. And we can see, that there's some liquidity in this whole area right here. We can see, where we started this advance here. So stops below here for the most part. And obviously, I'm sure there's more down here, and below the daily EQ. But that's how I would be looking to enter position there. If we come down and daily close below here, so say we come down, we daily close down here, you can enter a short upon a retest of the level, but it's risky, right? This is your optimal risk reward, okay? If you enter here, your better risk reward is to, a worse risk reward but less risk on the position itself, more likely for the position to be successful, is to let the price print a low, okay? It'll come back and retest, and then once it breaks that low, that's when you enter. That's when more downside would be coming. This is a common practice we've been doing forever, the whole, buy the retest, things of that nature. We talk about that all the time. You get the breakout, boom, you enter upon the retest, stop loss below. The only difference here is, basically in terms of trying to be bearish on this, we know how risky it is to short Bitcoin at these low prices. So that's why I would be looking for a little bit of extra confirmation in terms of breaking that low entry there. Okay, stop loss back above. Or you can even do really tight stop back, just a little bit before the downward move. And sometimes you'll even get like a consolidation. Okay, sometimes you get the daily close. You say you got the daily close down here, and you start consolidating here. Well, then, you know, like I said, you could enter closer to here for higher risk reward, or you could wait for the level to break and play it on the breakdown. Okay, so right once you pass this level on the breakdown, there's your entry point. Your stop goes just right back above. It can be a pretty tight stop for the most part. Okay, let's see. What else did I want to talk about? Ethereum is pretty much moving along the same path as Bitcoin. Like I said the other day when I was showing a potential move that I was eyeing, but I didn't actually call the trade, Trooper actually called the trade on ETH, and here was the trade from somewhere around here to you know, this range right around here, right? Okay, so there was about a 2.32% gain for Bitcoin, and on ETH that was actually about a 6% or a 6.5% gain. So while we didn't trade you know, the Bitcoin trade, Trooper did get the ETH trade, and it's essentially was the same thing, but Ethereum was giving you 3 times your value rather than Bitcoin. And at that point, you know, you almost have to think in this current market, why even trade Bitcoin? Why not trade ETH? It's a good argument, to be honest with you. ETH is basically like Bitcoin on X3 leverage to start with. Okay, you're basically getting 3 times the movement on ETH every time you're seeing movement on Bitcoin. I think it is great to trade ETH right now. Troopers seem to have the lock on ETH, so, you know, like I said, he's been doing his thing. And in terms of downside to ETH, really the only downside is, you know, the 24-hour volume is often you know, a good amount lower than Bitcoin, so you'll find some stronger slippage, things of that nature. For the most part with ETH, and obviously, you know, we know the ETH swap, the funding can get a little out of control depending on which way you're playing it. Okay, I'll take a look at XRP real quick, just for some fun here. XRP possibly forming a strong rising wedge here. I would say, you know, this is sort of my swing high that I'm watching here. You can see the high, we could see it tap here again. You know, these were the type of trades I'd be looking for if I was to see a breakdown out of the formation, perhaps. You got a 4.63 risk reward there, and you got a 7 risk reward here, okay? And obviously we'd be targeting, you can see the consolidation here, you can see the consolidation here, this would be your main target area. But if you did want to give it, you know, the bullish benefit of the doubt, you know, we could see here where sort of we had this demand level. And you can even move it up a tad bit, and then you're still pulling, you know, a 4.5 risk reward. Okay, so I think that could be a decent trade, but at the same time, we have to understand that the Swell conference is going on, and we also know that the owners of Ripple own, like, I don't know, some insane amount of the supply, so they're not going to want to see the price go down. They're probably pumping the coin themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if they announce like a coin burn or something crazy at the end of the conference, and the price just starts rubber banding all over the place. That's what happened last year. Literally, last year the price was just rubber banding all over the place between, like, I want to say between, having a hard time remembering, maybe between 3,500 and 6,000 or 7,000 Satoshi, somewhere around there. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, that's what was going on last year. It was pretty crazy. Let me see if I can just take a look real quick. We're back around that time. What's going on here? Oh, I must have been trading it on Bittrex. Yeah, I mean, this is sort of a waste of time, but whatever. We'll take a look real quick. I don't remember exactly when Swell was last year. Was it around? Yeah, I think this was it, right around here, from around 3,000 to around 7,000 Sats. Well, that would make sense. If that was it, then so be it. If not, then hey, I'm a little confused. But I remember the price going crazy. All right, it was rubber banding all over the place. It wasn't a trade I would ever want to be in. I think I was in a little trade at that time, and I don't think it went too well. Okay, so as always, trying to avoid these crazy news things. Yeah, so in conclusion, really, bullish above here. We're long in the retest. Bearish below here. Possibly longing the retest, but most likely longing after a break of the low. Remember, we print a low, we retest. Upon the break of that printed low, that's when we would enter. We could even do some type of a, on MEX, you would do a stop market with no close on trigger. We could talk about that more. You know how to open an order like that if you've been following my educational videos over time, specifically the BitMEX Advanced Order Types video. There's a few different videos that talk about that. Besides that, just a lot of consolidation. Haven't been watching too many alts. Like I said, I think the whole alt market is just sort of moving. The alt market was moving a bit because people were so bored with Bitcoin. I don't know. To be honest with you, it seemed like it was almost people were just like they were like exit pumps. And I'm not saying crypto's over, but that's what it felt like to me. Like the coins were pumping for no reason. And then towards the end of it, people were like, "Oh, Bitcoin Cash is the only one that hasn't pumped yet," and then it starts pumping. Like, it's just, I don't know. To me, that's just not like trading. Okay, I don't know. I was here, I've been here for more than a year in this space, and I just don't remember, trading like that. It just doesn't seem like, I don't know. Just doesn't seem legit to me. It doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense. It seems like, big money, big players are just picking which coins to pump, and everyone else FOMOs in, and someone's going to get caught holding the bag. And at the end of the day, I'm never going to recommend any type of trade where I'm like, hey, don't be the last one holding the bag. Let's get in this. Let's get in this one. Let's take our 4% and let's get out as soon as possible. I don't know. Like I said, I think it's bullshit, but I'm not here to just be the bearer of bad news. As you guys know, the group time is currently on hold, so to say. We don't know when we're doing the next payment or anything like that. Yeah, it just is what it is. We have, like I've always said, we have faith in what we do. We're not here to take from anyone if we're not all doing well. And that's what this has been all about. Can't change the market, guys. And anyone who, anyone who understands anything about the market can see that what's been going on. And what's been going on is just mass consolidation. You've never seen smaller candles. Look at the type of movement we had, this past year, and look at the type of movement we had the past few weeks. Okay? There's no way to change that. It just is what it is. So we adjusted accordingly, and that's why we're given some of the free time and whatnot. I don't feel bad about performance whatsoever. I just don't feel like a lot of opportunity is there. And some people will say it's bullshit because they caught some alt runs and whatnot. Hey, I'm happy for you, but I just can't call those trades when the market isn't really bullish. Like, why are coins pumping but the market's not bullish? I don't understand. Because if we look at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is the market leader, if you think that Bitcoin is going to make new yearly lows and that your altcoins are just going to magically pump, or your altcoins are going to separate from Bitcoin when Bitcoin makes new yearly lows, if it does, then you're dense and you have no idea about anything about the market. Because I guarantee you that your altcoin finds much deeper floors if Bitcoin makes new lows. So like I said, it's very just, this is bearish down here. All this area down here is bearish. You have not, anytime you're below this level, bearish, bearish, bearish. So why is everything pumping? I don't really know. Didn't make sense to me. If it doesn't make sense to me, I'm not going to trade it. Like I said, Trooper found some good trades. Good on him. That's awesome. And good for the group. I'm happy for you guys. But at the same time, I'm not going to personally call anything when I don't really believe in anything and I don't see any opportunity that really looks like genuine or anything. It just seems like bullshit. The altcoins seem like bullshit. Bitcoin's just consolidating to an insane degree. We saw that on the monthly. And yeah, that's why I haven't been making videos every day, because you guys can hear it in my tone right now. You probably just don't want to hear me spam negative shit all day, and I completely understand it. So I'm working every day. I'm still looking in the background. I'm trying to find trades. I'm keeping an eye, trying to watch for the big move. But yeah, I'm not going to just sit here and tell you guys how I don't believe in what's going on every day. There's no point in doing that. It's not beneficial to everyone, to anyone. And the people who are making some decent gains on the altcoins and whatnot, like I said, that's great. And I'm happy that you're finding your way with those, and some people in the group finding their way with those as well. And Trooper found his way with those as well for the group on a few different points. All right, I think that's about everything. Thank you very much, everybody. And I would say nice to be back, but I'm just, next time I put out a video, it will be when I have more valuable information. When I see, a new potential play. We already discussed the potential plays, so is what it is. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night.